we're live. Did you try to send pictures to the Discord, or what are you talking?
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Yeah.
No, I
did
haven't
not
seen
see.
them.
I'm gonna keep working on it because they're really freaking cute pictures.
Also, like, I'm confused by technology, and I can only see two pictures in the that have been sent to us,
Mm,
and I'm certain that I have done something wrong, but
probably.
um, yeah, as they said in those messages, we got lost in the corn maze because a group of children told us that there was a dead end and were walking the other direction, um, and we foolishly believed them.
Mm. How old were these children?
10ish.
Oh, okay. Sounds about right.
There they are.
She looks so cute.
Isn't she the cutest?
It was Black Day at school today.
And I
What does
said,
that mean?
That means that she
they're
was
going
supposed
through.
to wear black.
Yeah, they're going through the colors of the rainbow, and so every Thursday for the past several weeks, it's been a different color of the rainbow.
Okay.
So it's not. Yeah. So she was supposed to wear black, and so I was like, "Addie, you have these black pants. Do you want to wear them from Black Day?" And she's like, "No, I want unicorns." It's like, "Okay, we can wear unicorns." And I was like, "Do you want to wear this black dress?" She's like, "No, I want to wear unicorns." I was like, "Okay." Um, and then I was like, "Do you want to wear a black bow?" She's like, "Yeah." I was like, "Okay, great." She's like, "No, I want to wear unicorns."
Oh my god.
So she was just pink unicorns all the way through. And then Ben walked in and was like, "Well, I guess pink is the new black, huh?"
Oh my god.
And then he taught her to say that and got her to say it to her teacher when she walked in.
Oh my god.
It was fantastic.
How did the teacher respond?
She laughed. We were like, we could just like see them through the window as she walked in, or like through the glass door, but she thought it was funny.
And I put a little gold star in my dad achievements. All right, are we ready to play some D&D?
Let's play some D&D. Let's get called back.
All right, shortest session summary ever. Call Drew from the deck of many things. We're gonna get him back now, as soon as possible. So, I believe the last thing that happened last session is Ren angrily left and Henry hurried to catch up. Where are y'all going?
Ren is going directly to Zerka's office.
Okay.
Henry's just following along, or he's like right next to Ren. And as they walk, I feel like, is Ren picking up on anything at all? And, like, would he notice how Henry's doing?
No,
No. Okay, never mind. Then yeah.
I'm sorry.
No, it's fine. I was gonna narrate. I feel like if you were paying attention at all, you would notice things. But
I want to know how Henry's doing.
Henry is just getting more and more angry as they walk, like, and getting more and more like, I feel like he's like finally coming into like like he's realizing what happened and it's like hitting him, and so he's going through a wide range of emotions of like anger and things, just lots of emotions. The stages of grief. So I guess we get to Zerka's office.
Yep. I don't think that there's any chance that either of you make a perception check on that way.
I think before then, even, I think Ren's just going to swing by the barracks just to put most of Call's stuff there.
There's actually no one in the barracks at this point in time.
Good.
That's actually a relief.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Okay, so yeah, the only things Ren is going to keep on him are Call's 2 necklaces, which include the other Rocky Talkie and then the necklace with the little stone that Pier gave them. So he's going to put on the former and just pocket the latter. And then he's going to go to Zerka's office.
All right.
Henry, I guess, didn't realize that that's where Ren was going, and he picks up Call's clothes and puts them in his bag of holding. So that if we happen to just get Call back, Call isn't going to be naked. And so also that Henry's just like, Henry is ready to have Call back like now, and he just wants to be prepared. So he takes like the things that Call would want, so their clothes and their
All of their stuff.
bow. All of their stuff, yeah. All of
Okay.
their stuff goes in the bag of holding.
I forgot about the bag of holding. Thank you, Henry.
Yeah.
Okay.
I really appreciate that y'all remember that Call would be naked upon return because that's been intimately bothering me. Call
Yeah,
did not
Henry-
ask to be flashing people.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Well, you get to Zerka's office for the extraordinarily short walk of across a hallway. Basically, it's outside, but it's hallway between the two buildings. The door is closed and locked.
Ren is going to knock on it.
Okay. Doesn't take long for Zerka to open the door and ushers y'all in and closes it behind you.
Ren is going to start in on a report. Henry and I just came back from a mission that went wrong. We encountered the Light Hands, or rather, we were following the Light Hands to see if we could track who was trailing us. Call hung behind us while we were going through the industrial district while they were invisible. I had cast the spell, and when Call was in a position to begin investigating in earnest, and Henry and I did not want to be present enough to blow their cover, we went to the other side of the industrial district to investigate a warehouse. We encountered hostiles there, and I lost concentration on the invisibility spell. We left immediately. We managed to break from the fight and leave immediately, and we went straight for Call. We were not fast enough. They had been cordoned by the Light Hands, and they had been coerced into drawing from a maliciously enchanted deck of cards. I have been told that they are alive and relatively safe, but trapped in a pocket of extra-dimensional space, and that only divine intervention or a wish spell can locate them. This is because of my own incompetence and poor decisions. And I will be doing nothing else until we get them back. He kind of stops there and just looks very lost.
When the report gets to the point of it is obvious that something has happened to Call, Zerka goes from like very intently listening to a report to entirely still. Not blinking. There's no movement of whisker or ear or anything. Entirely still. As the silence continues for a little bit, Zerka gives a very short and quick nod and then says, "That'll be all."
Ren does a little, just perfunctory little bow and walks out.
Henry does as well.
Where are y'all headed?
I think Henry will turn immediately to Ren and say, "Should we go to Master Barnabas?"
Yes.
Okay.
Um,
And we,
what is your passive perceptions? Real quick.
I keep forgetting.
12.
14.
Y'all hear breaking wood coming from in Zerka's office. But distinctly no voice.
All right, we're going to Master Barnabas's. Let's go.
All
Let's
right.
go. Before I cry.
Okay. Once again, no perception checks allowed.
Nope.
Um,
We don't need them. We are not looking.
now I will say that it's like 4 p.m. at the latest right now. So when y'all arrive at Barnabas's office, there is no response on the other side of the door.
Henry,
Yes.
could you help me pray?
Yes. Here?
Where do you usually go?
I go somewhere that quiets my mind. Let's go to the gardens. Do you want to hold hands?
No, thank you.
And we walk in silence towards a section of the courtyard that is kind of like, away from most people. Like, people could still walk by, but it's pretty quiet. And there's nice flowers and plants that are tended to by the druids. And there is a little bench that Henry sits at, and it just has like the most perfect view of the garden. And he kneels down in front of it and puts his hands on it and just kind of goes like this, so he can still see the garden, but he's kneeling. And he kind of he looks up at Ren and says, "You don't have to do any specific body language. This is what I like to do."
Ren kind of mimics Henry, so like kneels down, but I think he more like
Yeah.
has his face in his hands. Also, I get really bad character empathy, so like if I start crying, I'm fine. It's just Ren, and he's not crying either. Everything's fine. So
I'm gonna call Sam on that. I am very emotional right now. I think Henry doesn't have the capacity to cry at the moment. Yes. But so when Ren is there next to him, he just kind of says, and not whispering, but just like in a quiet, kind of reverent tone, says, "There is no wrong way to pray. You can reach out just kind of with your feelings and with your thoughts and whatever you want to say. And whenever I am speaking to Lyra, I try to find something joyful in my memories, no matter where I'm at, to connect first, and then I just can talk. Let me know if you need anything."
I think Ren is just going to kind of pray in his mind. So not out loud. Should I dictate that here, or should I just message Ben about it?
I think you should just message me. I will
Solid.
add to that. Um, are you just silently praying, or are you doing anything in a magical capacity to try and add to this?
Ren doesn't know any holy magic, but I am positive that he is channeling whatever abstract kind of power he can into this, even if he doesn't know any spells related to it. So he's trying something. But yeah, he doesn't know how this works, but he's trying.
Mhm.
So let's see. I'm glad I don't have to say this out loud.
I am also typing something to you, Ben.
Yay! I get to cry too.
Nice.
By the way, we're gonna dump the rest changes. I don't think that it will work with the party as small as it is. I just don't think that it's gonna be effective changes. So
Rip.
tonight when you sleep, you will get a full long rest, not a short rest. Um,
I should have typed this up before. Shit. Would have made this faster.
I'm gonna say that my prayer is a little bit longer than that, but I don't say anything else. I just keep repeating what I've already said.
mhm.
Should I make a religion check or something?
We are gonna do some
Okay.
checks in a moment.
No rush.
Getting a couple things organized. Um,
I'm gonna answer my own question. Sorry. Sending work to a god? A creature with which you are familiar. He has met her in person.
Sending only like gets your message to them, and you know for a fact that Lyra hears when you pray.
Hmm.
You specifically.
Okay.
So like I'm not trying to discount the hustle, cause
Yeah.
do that, but like you already have a better way that doesn't cost that resource.
Mm. You'd have to wait until tonight anyway. But...
All right, this is gonna suck.
I told Ben I didn't want to roleplay telling Zerka because I feel like I was just gonna cry. But it was okay. It was fine.
Totally fine. She's definitely not doing anything right now.
Nope. Nothing.
Okay. I need numbers on this, and then I'm gonna. I get the feeling there's gonna be somewhat similar answers to the two questions I've asked.
Did you message?
I mean, you've already answered.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So, Henry, you're going to roll 3 d20s, and you're going to add 3 to your religion check. So you're making a religion check with an additional plus 3, and you're rolling 3 d20s. How do I translate that here? Ren is also going to roll 3 d20s, but Ren is going to be adding 5.
All of them? Like we make 3?
Yes.
Okay.
Any bonuses or just straight
Your religion check plus an additional 5.
religion check?
You want me to tell you what they are?
Go ahead, yeah.
14, 18, mod 20.
Okay.
Okay. 18, 23, and 21.
Okay. I'm going to go ahead and say this out loud, but know that there are 2 separate responses happening here.
Okay. Okay.
So to Henry, you hear you don't hear, but you kind of feel the response of your instincts lead you well, and also it's kind of like at the same time you get this other response that says, seek the elf who works with bronze.
Okay.
And Ren, you also get the seek the elf who works with bronze. Y'all both have that response. And then also, so when you feel that, you for the first time ever feel a response from Lyra, which is a oddly joyful feeling in your chest that gives you that, kind of answer. And then you feel that, like, that feeling is still there, but it feels like a hole was punched in it that there is nothingness in. And you also hear a suggestion of the mountain. And I'm gonna say this took y'all a little while to pray.
Mm-hmm.
And so I say it's about fifth bell now.
Would I have any knowledge? Like, do we have any idea of who the elf who works with bronze is from our time? Because I've worked with that dwarf.
Okay, so
In the forge.
You can give me a history check for just give me a history check real quick.
Okay. Nat 20.
Okay. I didn't actually want this check to give you direct you exactly. You do not know of any elven smiths in this city. So that's what your first thought comes is, like, you have worked with the metal workers and such, a few of them in this city, and you don't know of any elven smiths in this city. However, one of very few elves in this city you have seen working with a material that could very well be bronze.
That's true. Okay. Well, I mean, we need to go there anyway to kick some ass, so. And to confiscate a deck of cards. So, that works out. I think when Henry's done praying, he like sits I think Henry sits on the bench and just kind of waits for Ren to be done. Because I'm assuming it's going to take Ren longer. Maybe not, but I assume so.
Just real quick, let me narrate something. So as y'all are both sitting there praying, Ren for the first time, at the very least to this deity, maybe to any deity?
At least to this one.
Okay. As y'all are praying, y'all are sitting there for a good while, just kind of repeating those phrases that y'all sent in to me. And first of all, Henry, while framing your face with your hands, this glittery substance kind of starts to shake from his beard, that then, as it falls, kind of transforms into just little bubbles that very, very slowly float away. And there is just this kind of warm glow emanating from him. A little bit more specifically from the symbol that Lyra gave him. all of those years ago.
On his little necklace,
Little,
his amulet.
it's much more bright from there, but it also just seems to be coming from his skin. Ren, in contrast to the glow of Henry, the shadows just being cast by your form seem to stick to you, and then shimmer, as if kind of like a mirage, where like you're looking across like a heat scape, and while it is dark, it is in no way foreboding or scary. It's a comforting, not happy, but contented darkness that just seems to stick to his body. And make sure that y'all mark off the spells that y'all cast for that. And a wave, not mechanically, but a wave of exhaustion comes over the two of you from this prayer, because you both put a lot of energy into it. No, you don't gain a level of exhaustion or anything, but like you feel the weight of y'all just put a heavy amount of your day's energy into a prayer. And it's giving you something. So.
All right.
So Henry is sitting waiting for Ren to like open his eyes, or to look up.
I think Ren sits up again and is still kind of like... I'm trying to decide exactly like how he would be. Yeah, I think he would sit up like kind of stiffly and look at Henry and just say what Lyra had told him, at least the part about seek the elf who works with bronze.
She told me the same, and she said my instincts will lead me well. And I also just got the feeling that she means the half-elf that works in Half a Mug who sits at the bar. Because there are no elven workers. There are no elven smiths in this city.
Do we know if they work for the Light Hands?
We don't know. I think we should wait to pursue that lead. I think we need to talk to the people here that we trust and know first, and then we can follow up on that lead.
Okay. Yeah, I think at this point Ren is ready to go back to the hall outside Master Barnabas' office and pace until he gets back.
Do you have any other powerful friends?
Not as such. Do you remember when we were in the foothills? And Colin and I both had strange dreams?
Yeah.
My dream told me to go to the mountain and it would grant my wish. So if we don't get a lead fast here, I need to get on a horse and get to the mountain as fast as possible before the expedition gets there.
You wanted to leave immediately after you had that dream. I know that we're going to do anything to get call back, but we do need to be smart about it. Are there any precautions we can take before we go?
I don't know what to prepare for.
Fair enough.
If divine intervention or a wish spell are the only ways to find Call, we just got some divine help, but not Call's location. That brings it to wish spell. I don't know anyone in the city who can cast that.
I don't know anyone in the city who can, but in my travels, I've heard rumors of such beings. All hope is not lost, but we should, of course, pursue the quickest methods first.
So, the hallway in front of Barnabas' office.
Mm-hmm.
All right. With travel time, y'all are there for a few minutes, about a half hour. And Barnabas comes climbing the stairs and sees y'all and immediately kind of like looks around and looks a little like, why are y'all waiting outside my fucking office?
Where's the nosy one?
And you can roll an insight check if you want.
Oh, I mean, that was good. That was really good. That's a 21.
21. He is expecting y'all to be here to talk about a coup. And y'all are waiting outside his room for this meeting. He doesn't look super happy about that, but he opens the door and ushers y'all in, still looking around, and then comes in and says, "When I said sixth bell, I didn't expect you to be here before that."
Something else happened today. So Ren is going to dive into that same kind of report he gave to Zerka a little bit faster and more, I guess he's given the report before, so this time it's a little quicker and more efficient, but also he's looking a little bit like 2% unhinged. So, yeah.
Barnabas, as always, is an extraordinary listener, and he takes in the full report. And the only change you notice in him as you speak is that his shoulders slowly fall. And then he asks a couple clarifying questions as far as what you know about the deck. And then you see a glint of green from the scabbard at his waist, or the sword sheathed at his waist, and a small, like, note card-sized piece of parchment flies from a low shelf in the corner of the room into his hand, and he quickly scans it, and then he says, "There are too many dangerous items in this world." And he then says, "If my guess is correct, this deck of cards, more precisely known as the deck of many things, some of the cards are good, some are bad. From your description and what was left behind, I can confirm that from what I know, your friend is not in a harm's way. He looks at Ren and says, "I've spent enough time with you to know that that's not good enough. It's good that you've already started research into planar travel. That could prove useful. As far as knowing where to go to look, I do not have that power. My school of magic that I consider myself an expert in is not helpful in this. And for that, I'm sorry." He takes a long second and looks at Henry. And then I do know of a mage that would be powerful enough to bring them back. But for me to get a favor from them would be very costly. The least of which I expect they would demand a teleportation circle be made here in Storgard, something that I have fought hard to prevent. And who knows what else. He's a ambitious and greedy man. But I understand your position, and it is not an option that is off the table. However, there is something I would like to try first. Once again, he looks at Henry for a good portion of time, and then, Ren, in your head, you hear Barnabas' voice, and I will send what he says real quick.
If Barnabas is looking at Henry and it's like silent for a minute, Henry would say something.
Yeah, you go ahead.
He says, "I will pay the cost. I will pay whatever cost is necessary."
Henry, when you say that, Barnabas looks kind of thoughtful for a moment and looks to be like cataloging or searching through certain, like, the bookcases in his head.
I'm so glad that we have Magic Dad on our side.
Upon sending your response, Ren, give me an insight check. Oh no. Dice down, dice down.
Goodbye forever.
I just imagined Call saying that right before they disappear.
You shut the fuck up right now.
I'm sorry.
You need to take your headphones off and take a lap of shame right now. You get up and you walk in a circle.
Okay, I will. I also need water, so I'm gonna go get that.
I had my mic off because I was eating soup. But now I knocked over Ren's die, and I don't want to make any rolls without Ren's die today. I don't know why. It feels like very, very bad juju. Where the hell is this die?
Do you need me to go help you look? I'm gonna go help you look. I'll be right back.
Now that I have the stream all to myself, hello.
Asher. I'm still on headset, buddy.
Hi. Bronwyn's cute.
Bronwyn is cute. Thank you. Bronwyn is better than me.
That was the smuggest fucking look.
I'm too upset to eat. I love my wife.
That's gay. Gay.
And it took me that long to find my die. Bronwyn found it. Okay, so insight check. Oh, that's an 18.
Okay. After responding to Barnabas using the message cantrip, you see the first part of your message there. You can tell that he, like, the fact that that was what you said first, he gets this 18, he gets a guilty look. And then he says, he takes a second of just silence, of like organizing his thoughts, and then, I have not told High Power Kenda everything I know about them.
Ren actually kind of looks kind of upset on a different level. Like, you know, there's upset about Call, and then there's also the flavor of, oh, I'm actually kind of upset now, over in a different way too.
He continues, I know their heritage, for lack of a better word. I know who they were before. Have either of you heard of a djinn?
Has he?
Y'all gonna make
Have
a
we?
history check.
Henry is well traveled.
Or Arcana.
22. If we're going Arcana, 22.
What's the history?
Not 20.
History would be 19.
Okay. Okay. So y'all know that Jinn are like so y'all have both rolled high enough that like y'all have heard like the kid stories about Jinn and Genie of the like you find one and they grant you 3 wishes. But also y'all rolled high enough that you know a bit more of the actual workings of what they are. Especially Henry. I'll say that with a nat 20, Henry, you've had from your brief time in Yenna, you had someone explain to you that jinns are extraordinarily powerful beings, and they do have seemingly, although they are ridiculously powerful entities, they also have access to the wish spell, which is seemingly more powerful than even they are. And however, there's some weird transactional bits surrounding their actual use of the spell. Like they can't just cast wish whenever they want. Um, but yeah, I think that's honestly about it for what y'all know, even with very, very good rolls.
I did like. Were there any legends of where they were?
I mean the person from Yenna kind of like was secretive about how there's one in Yenna, but didn't say where, or in what, or to what capacity. However, Barnabas continues, or I guess he did ask, "Do you know what a jinn is?"
Yes.
He kind of nods a little bit and he says, "They are at least half jinn."
Who?
High Power Kenda. If not entirely jinn themselves. I gotta check a timeline. Yes.
Hello.
A bit more than 20 years ago, they were a severe threat to Storgard. I was charged with handling that threat, but instead, I found them unconscious under the city. I never interacted with or spoke with them before they lost their memory. But I do know that they killed on a whim. And they seemed to have an endless supply of power that they in no way had any regard for the safety of those around them. When I found them, the first thing they did was cast a spell on par with the strongest magic I can cast now. And they did it without a word. So, I did my best to lead them to help others. But I couldn't risk them returning to the threat that they once were. I tell you this now because I do believe they have the ability to at least discover where your friend is, if not bring them back. But I know them, meaning the being that they are, has the power. I do not know if Kenda, my friend, knows how. And at that, he kind of slumps down onto his chair and turns his face away from the two of you. You're muted.
I am muted. Okay. How much of this were you intending to tell High Power Kenda? This has been something of a source of stress for them, I understand.
Tell him off.
Kenda's Ren's friend. He's pissed.
His head kind of lowers, and he says, I had been worried about the searches that she has been doing, that they have been doing, excuse me. But it is a fear of unknown, not... I do not see that fear as credible enough to continue to hide this information from them. Especially if another's life hangs in the balance. As I said, they were a threat to those around them, but I will not put others in danger further because of the chance of them returning to that threat. Otherwise, it is just cruelty and And while it has been cruelty already, now I have nothing to hide behind, now that another's life is in danger by withholding the information.
They should hear this from you.
He just closes his eyes for a little while and then gives an almost imperceptible nod. Do you want to be present?
I would like to go see them first. I can send them up to you. But after that, I think that is a private conversation between the two of you.
He nods.
I think Ren even looks to Henry and says, I'd like to talk to them alone first. And so Ren will go find Kenda. So let's go to Kenda's office.
All right. Funny that you think that Barnabas thinks witnesses would stop anything.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh man, what's Kenda doing right now?
He seems.
They're wearing a ball gown, with their typical short, like, shaved head with just, like, very little short hairs. Their skin is kind of a deep blue. And they're walking around as if they're not wearing a ball gown, like they're paying no heed to like the trailing gown, but it also never seems to get tangled or anything, because it's magic. But they're kind of just walking about their office. Kind of going from shelf to shelf, but not actually like pulling anything off of the shelf. Of the times that you've seen them searching their office for anything, they usually just turn it into a giant trash heap. This is very different from that, where they're not even like touching the shelves. They're just like going and examining the spines of the books, or the stacks of scrolls.
Okay, so Ren is in the room.
Mm-hmm.
He'll just shut the door behind him and say, Kenda?
They turn around fabulously, is the only way I can describe it. And get a happy look upon seeing you, and then upon seeing your face, less happy.
I believe I found your answers.
What?
I said that I wanted to help you find answers to the questions you had about your origin. And I believe I found something.
What? How? What is it?
Master Barnabas can explain everything. First, Ren goes up to them and kind of projects that he's going to kind of reach out, just to see if they're okay with contact.
They're a little kind of frozen, but also at the extension of Ren's hand, kind of immediately leans a little bit towards him.
Ren gives them a very tight hug.
After a couple seconds, Ren realizes that he is not standing on the ground.
Ren's gonna take a deep breath and kind of like look for like if he can get his feet back down on the ground if he reaches.
Nah, it's like 2 feet. But as the wiggling leg clues them into what's happening, they make a little noise, and then like a disgruntled "uh-oh" type noise, and y'all lower back to the ground.
You should go talk to Master Barnabas. Please tell me if you need anything.
A rare occasion, they are somewhat at a loss for words, and just go, "Oh, okay," and kind of float out the door.
Okay.
I don't know if I made it clear. The two of you levitated. They didn't like grow. The two of you like levitated about 2 feet.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. But okay. I think Ren's gonna go find Henry.
Where did Henry go for this?
Henry anticipated that to be a longer conversation than it was. But he went to go to Master Unber's office to see if he could what Master Umber knows.
Okay. Is Henry at all in a place to be perceiving his surroundings?
Okay, let me think about it. I think going to Master Barnabas was very sobering, for him, and especially because they're making progress. So I think he would, if you want to give me like a disadvantage on perception, but
Yeah.
he would have a chance.
Go ahead. Also, what is Ren doing after? Oh, you said you were gonna go look for Henry. Are you going to look for him in the tower, or are you going to the Hall of Light?
The hallway. Like, I don't know. Ren and Henry didn't really discuss where they were going to meet up again. I think Ren might actually just go to his room and pick up Pierre.
Okay. Then.
Got a 9, by the way.
Okay. Ren, the floor of the tower is shaking. I think a 9 is high enough for Henry to also hear the mage tower shaking. And when Henry turns to look, there is light of all different colors pouring out of the window that you know is Barnabas's room.
Henry turns back around and goes to the mage tower.
before you even get to the mage tower, the rumbling stops, the shaking stops. The lights are rapidly changing color, but you don't hear anything.
Yeah. I think Henry. I don't know if it's cheating to say Henry goes to Ren's room. I feel like he would check there, but I also.
So, I mean, if you're on your way up the tower, Ren's room is on the way, so...
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah, I think he would go up to Barnabas's office, not stand right outside, but like, he'd be kind of like heading that direction of like, okay, we're probably gonna maybe talk to Kendis soon-ish, and he would definitely go check Ren's room on the way then.
Okay.
And Ren is there.
Yeah. After the kind of rumbling and stuff, I think Ren is just sitting on the end of his bed, kind of petting Pier, just trying to find a happy place. There is none. But yeah. He's just gonna wait for that conversation to end, I guess.
Okay. I guess Henry knocks on the door, or what?
Mm-hmm.
Ren goes and opens the door.
There's light coming out of Barnabas's window.
Is there?
There's a lot of light. And rumbling? He's okay, right? Like, he made high power Kenda sound. Like, he's okay, right?
He'll be okay.
Okay. We don't need to call in reinforcements.
I don't think if the two of them got into a fight, no one else could stop them. So
You know, that's
I
fair.
think it's best to steer clear.
Okay. Can I pet Pier too?
Yes.
And I think we both just go and sit on Red's bed and are just kind of like both like kind of like stare, petting Pier.
Okay. I will say that from within the tower, there's no indication that anything is happening. From outside, Henry could see the lights, but...
I think after like several minutes of sitting in silence, Henry would say, I was going to talk to Lord Umber about potentially getting other divine help. Should I wait? I don't want to wait. I want to go.
Let's not wait.
I don't want to wait. Let's go.
Okay.
Okay, go to Lord Umber.
Going to Lord Umber, okay. Alright. Just... We're gonna go to Lord Umber rather than me continually giving y'all stuff that maybe makes you go in the tower and out and in and out and in and out and out. So, we're just gonna go to Umber.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Henry goes to his office, and is the door closed?
At this point, we're pushing like 7th bell, so... No, actually, this would be the time that... this is like prime time. If you need to come talk to me, my door is open, Lord Umber.
Mm-hmm. Okay. So Henry kind of like peeks in and says, Lord Umber, can I talk to you?
He looks up and, upon seeing you, gives a bit of a smile. He's a little bit more of a stoic type person, so it's not like this big beaming smile such as Henry would give. But he kind of... And Ren is with you? Yeah?
Yeah.
He kind of waves and like gives a curious look over at Ren, but lets you both in.
I don't know the best way to say this, so I'm just gonna say it. We were on mission, and our friend and party member, was taken. They were forced to draw a magical item that sent them to a plane of existence between the planes, and the only help to find them, only hope to find them, is a wish spell or by divine intervention. I have prayed to Lyra, and she has given me a lead of someone in the city that could maybe help, but I can't go to them right now, and wanted to ask if what else I can do to. I've never prayed to any other gods before. Can you help me?
Well, I'm sorry for your, at the very least, temporary loss.
Thank you.
I feel. I wish I had more to offer you than what you've already done. The prayers. I know that in times like these, there are often those who have their faith tested. All I can suggest is that you hold strong and trust in your goddess. I'm sorry, I do not have a power to solve this for you.
I understand. Thank you. Is there anyone that you can think of that might be able to?
I would expect a more personal connection would be necessary for any here in the hall to help. If your friend was close to any here, then certainly they could also pray and request help. But I'm sorry, I don't even know your friend's name. It would be an impersonal request coming from me, and I just don't expect much to come of it.
I understand. Thank you. I'm going to be doing everything in my power to get them back. I don't know if I'm going to be leaving the city or not. Before I do so, should I send a message to you or to anyone if I'm going to be leaving to try to get them back?
It is my understanding that your service is currently held by Captain Dawn, yes?
Yes.
Then your captain is who you should report to.
Yes, sir. Thank you and blessings or whatever holy shit he would say. And
by the light.
Yes, by the light. The boom.
Throwing in a D20 reference real quick.
We can't have a session without talking about Brennan Lee Mulligan. Like, what is this?
All right. From here, where do y'all go?
Trying to think of the best place for them to wait to see the aftermath of Barnabas and Kenda talking.
We still
Yeah.
see lights coming out of the window.
If y'all go out into the courtyard, no, there is no more.
Okay.
Which, by the way, it's at this time it's like 6:30 in the fall. So I guess it's starting to get dark. So yeah, okay. Even if it had been bright out, you still would have been able to see the lights very clearly. But it was, evening was falling. So darkness was falling. Right?
Do you want to go check on your friend?
I'll see if they're back. I think Ren is gonna go back to Kenda's office and see if they're there.
Okay. So as you are climbing the stairs, that area that later at night often has that bubble that you kind of pass through. People be so there's like the little bubble wall that you have to pass through, and once you pass that, you are on the floors that are the professors' offices and rooms. When you reach where that bubble is, it is solid.
Okay. Yeah, Ren's gonna leave some distance then.
One second. Roll a Ren. Just roll a d20 and tell me the number.
17.
Okay. Yeah. Sorry. So yeah, nothing comes to that. Go ahead and say what you were saying.
I don't know. Ren is gonna wait in his room again, I guess.
Oh man, we gotta make jokes somewhere, or we're all gonna just cry.
That's why I'm being so silly today. Is like I don't want to fucking cry.
Yeah. Ren will as emotionally distressing as this is for two people who he has great respect for, Ren is ready to ask big favors of both of them while they're being very distressed, so he's going to wait for them to cool down a little bit so he can talk to them.
All right. So you're going to wait in your room, is that what you said?
Yeah.
Okay. Only a couple minutes later, you make a perception check, actually, as you wait. Both of you can if you're both waiting in Ren's room.
That is 19. 19.
Okay. A 19 is enough. Similar to when the Sphere of Silence spell is ended, where that ambient noise suddenly arrives. After just a couple minutes of waiting, you hear kind of raised voices, but you don't recognize either of them as Kenda or Barnabas. Either of them. You don't recognize either Kenda or Barnabas' voice, but you hear a few raised voices, not quite shouting. Some shout from time to time, but you suddenly come to the realization the whole tower shook, and you haven't seen any of the other professors. And also, this is a whole fucking university of magic users, and they haven't been rushing up the stairs to do anything. But now you realize you are hearing the voices of the other members of the university. What do you do?
Ren takes a peek out into the hallway.
Upon doing that, you do hear voices coming from both directions of the staircase that you're kind of on, both up and down. You from below, you can hear Praetor Paramount Tara. Just sounds to be trying to keep people from freaking the fuck out. And from above, let's see. Let me look at. From above, you can hear the kind of grating and squeaky voice of a person we haven't met in session, but you would have met being at the university, Galdanus.
Yes.
And you hear him talking to Great Servant Rawl from above, and they are currently discussing how. I mean, they're discussing, sounding rather relieved that bubble wall has gone down.
Okay. All right. Okay, for the time being, I think Ren's going to step back in his room, and he's going to sit down, and I think he's going to consult the ring real quick.
Oh, okay, man. Hitting all the favorites today.
Ren is going through all of his options right now.
All right.
Okay. So Ren starts off with his typical hello.
I'm trying to remember how we left off with the ring last.
Ren was he's wearing the ring regularly now, and so I think the ring had been like just getting snippets of just Ren's day to day, so it can, like, I don't know, experience something. So
Okay.
yeah.
So, hey Bronwyn, we're getting some not feedback, but noise from you. You're still lit up green, but I hear nothing. So, rather quickly, you hear, in a bit of a more timid tone, which, of course, is, again, not here, just, like, are aware of in your mind. You hear the ring say, "Are you okay?"
No, I am not.
I thought so.
Oh God. I think this is when Ren has his meltdown. Okay. Right, Ren's still he's still working. He's still doing a good job here. He's still getting shit done, but he is, like, curled up under his sheets and sobbing at this point. But he's having a coherent conversation with the ring, so everything's fine. Can you tell me anything about the unusual topic of interplanar travel?
You get a feeling that it wants to help. and you get a series of images of different beings trying to protect others. Ending with a mother tucking their child into bed. And the ring says, I only know of two kinds of travel that I would call planar, interplanar. One is more his than mine.
Okay.
But from what I remember, it was traumatic and dangerous.
Okay.
The other, I would say, you probably already know as much as I could tell you. And I don't think that going there is going to help.
Understood. So Ben, a while ago, like, I don't know, half the campaign ago, the ring had said something that freaked Red out pretty bad. And it was that little series of sacrifice 1 to save 10, is it worth it? Sacrifice 1 to save 5, is it worth it? Sacrifice 100 to save the right one, is it worth it? That freaked Ren out, and he took the ring off right after. And right now, I think Ren is just going to ask the ring, was it worth it? Like, not in a spiteful way. Like a genuine sad and kind of like reaching out kind of way, but not intending to do harm. But like, it still hurts, I think.
I don't know if it's for me to decide. But it doesn't feel like it.
I'm sorry. I don't think I'm going to be a great source of comfort for a while. Would you like to stay and keep talking to me? Or would you like to stay somewhere safe?
Friendship isn't one way.
Listen, Ren is trying to stop crying right now. Okay. Ren kind of just nods and like guesses that the ring can kind of sense that, and he just goes quiet.
You don't hear anything further from the ring.
But
Straight up ask a guy if his suicide bombing was worth it.
hey, Ren lived through it with him. I think Ren has the right to ask at this point. I mean, when do you get the right to ask somebody something like that? But
And considering Ren might be in that situation to sacrifice 100 to save the right one, I think it's a pretty good fucking question to ask.
Hey, I'm not saying it was bad timing or the wrong question.
yeah, but
I'm
like,
just
oh boy.
Man, didn't realize. Ooh, man. Whew. Oh.
Is your tyranny catching up to you?
No, the ring is my boy.
Love the ring, but yeah, the ring asked that first, and Ren was like, I'm not analyzing that side of myself right now. So,
I'm just saying, the ring said that when it was in a trauma spiral, like.
yeah. Yeah. I think Ren and the ring keep, like, leaning against each other like a little stack of 2 cards, just, like, barely leaning up against each other through their trauma spirals. That's
Damn,
just the
is
ring
it
and
a
Ren
windy
right now.
room?
It is a windy room. The table's shaking, my guy. But, oh, fuck. Okay, yeah, yeah, Red's gonna get his shit together. Henry up to anything?
Is Henry up to anything while Ren is curled under his blankets, sobbing and shaking?
Nothing unusual. He's done that before, like at least once. He's fine.
Well, Henry and Ren, I think, parted ways when Ren went to go see High Power Kenda, because Henry just assumed that, like, Ren and Kenda would be curled up in a crying ball of crying, you know, or something like that. He didn't even consider that Red wouldn't see High Power Kenda, so Henry's off doing his own thing.
That was a short conversation. Nothing.
I think Henry doesn't know what to do with his hands, you know? Like, he just, but with his entire self, he's just like, I cannot stop, but I have nothing else to do. And so he just starts walking, and I think his feet take him past the Heart House first. Not because he has anything planned to say or ask them, but they are like a resource of someone in his mind. And so I think he goes and walks past, especially if they have to pay a price to this asshole mage that could get called back. I feel like Henry's problem solving and going through all the iterations of how they could get called back and all the things they could try, just like all at once, and he's not really focusing on any of them, but that is like the one thing of like, that's the next thing that he could do is talk to the hearts. So without consciously deciding it, he walks to the Heart House, and I guess when he gets there, he's like, oh, are the lights on in the house?
At this point, we're pushing like 8 p.m. Which, just to give a little context on the length of the conversation that Barnabas and Kenda had, it took y'all like 10, 12, 15 minutes to get from the tower to Umber's office, and then another 10, 12, 15 to get back. Because the courtyard is large and the tower is tall. But so as Henry approaches Heart House, and recognizes where he is, go ahead and roll a perception check for me. And I'll get out my freaking Trent dice that I didn't expect to use today.
I rolled, and it was a 14, and then it knocked against the side of my dice tray, and it's a 4 plus 2, 6. I'm annoyed. It's not my dice's fault, though.
Because you didn't
You
feel
did your
any
hardest.
of the teeth come out.
What? Why did you think of that?
I'm
Oh,
annoyed.
annoyed. I'm annoyed.
Always.
And also, my nose is stuffy like his was. I'm annoyed.
Sorry, we are referencing a video of a guy who
My-
got his
Wisdom teeth? taken
wisdom
out.
teeth removed.
It's my favorite video on the internet.
It's a good video.
It's my favorite thing.
With a nat 1, doubles your check.
I got a 6, so...
Yeah. The lights are on. Yes.
Do I see Trent?
No. You rolled low
Uh,
enough. It's not possible to see Trent.
Gotcha. I think he stands. He's not like in front of their house, but he's like probably like a house away, like maybe in front of their neighbor's house or the house, you know. And I think he just stands there wherever he stopped and realized where he was, and just stands there for like probably 10 or 15 minutes trying to figure out what to do. Because he doesn't want to just barge in there if he doesn't have a plan, but also he has no plan. And I think after like 15 minutes of standing there, he's just like, it's not the right time to talk to them. If I need them, I'll ask them. And I think he continues walking, walks past their house, kind of looks at it as he's walking past, and then goes to one of the taverns that he has seen the hair and gone Kurt, that he has seen Kurt in.
Okay. Are you looking for Kurt, or just going to a tavern that you've seen him in?
I think he's kind of looking for Kurt, but also like doesn't think that he's gonna find him, so he's not gonna like super. He'll maybe like look in one, and if he's not there, he go to the next one, and maybe do that to 3. And if he's not there on the 3rd one, he just goes inside.
Give me a perception check.
Let's say 13.
Okay. So as you peek into that 3rd one and are about to give up, a bit further down the road, you hear a familiar drum.
Oh, okay. I go toward the drum.
Honestly, it's not one that you've actually seen him in before. Although I'll point out you've never seen him in the same tavern twice. He is playing a rather happy song. There's some people like just dancing, and yeah, what do you do upon entering?
The happy music makes him want to retch, and so he turns around and leaves. And just goes to a tavern that has more sad or somber or more just like rakshas, I guess. Not happy, but just kind of like chaotic vibes. And then goes and orders 3 dwarven ales at the bar.
Okay. Henry's getting drunk. Gotcha.
Yeah.
Henry, no.
Henry is getting drunk with no spell slots. Okay.
Does he have lay on hands still? Let me check. He has 10 lay on hands, so
Oh.
he could get rid of the drunk condition.
If he's not too drunk to remember how to do that.
So I guess he doesn't order 3 at once, but he fully plans on getting drunk as shit, and is open to going home with somebody tonight.
All right. Roll a persuasion check, I guess.
Oh, buddy. That is a math 23.
Henry gets laid. And we're not rolling anymore for that.
No, thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Anyway, does he remember at 10th bell to ascending?
Yes. I have not written it, nor am I in the headspace to write it at this exact moment, but I'll work on it.
I think we're about to call it here.
Yeah, it's kind of late.
However, so does Ren ever recover enough to leave his room?
Yes.
Okay. So what does he do?
So, I think he's gonna tentatively like do a round of like the logical things and checking if Barnabas and or Kenda might be ready to talk again, and if they would be ready to talk again, or if they have any interest in talking to him. So kind of just like peeking back out into the hallway, I guess.
Not far up the stairs, you hear Kenda's voice talking to Praetor Paramount Tara. And the Praetor Paramount is like being very gentle, and she's trying to, like, you can tell she's trying to get the story of what happened, but also is trying to be kind about it. You have never heard Kenda's voice more monotone. Usually hearing Kenda speak is an interesting experience. Like, almost always. There is no inflection in their tone.
All right. Alrighty, guys.
Jesus.
Yeah. I don't know like what beat we're wanting to like stop at. So like
I mean, if you want to go interact with that, we can.
Ren might tentatively peek around the corner, like not like he's trying to sneak or eavesdrop, but kind of like a kind of silent, "Hey, I'm here. You okay?" kind of just by proximity sort of thing.
Are you trying to catch Kenda's eye, or
Kinda
okay?
like non-committally.
When you see them, they're no longer wearing the gown. They are wearing breeches and a simple, like, it looks like homespun shirt. Their skin is entirely gray. The clothes look real. The Praetor Paramount is being gentle, but you also get a sense that Kenda doesn't want to be having this conversation.
In that case, Ren might try to catch Kenda's eye, like just like make himself visible. In the interest of Kenda maybe using him as an excuse to get out of that conversation if they really don't want to be having it.
They
Does that
do
make
see,
sense?
yeah, I got you. They see you. Kenda is one for exits and is usually really, when they want to, is good at getting out of conversations they don't want to be in, and usually can find a clever way to do it. Upon seeing you, their arm just raises and they point at you. Praetor Paramount Tara kind of turns and sees you, and as they turn to look, or sorry, as she turns to look, Kenda just walks past her toward you.
I love them. I love them. They're a menace, and I love them.
So I'm gonna say that Ren kind of takes them to their room.
Yeah, their office.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But same thing.
Yeah.
And we're gonna cut that there. And we will turn instead, very briefly, to Call, who awakens to blue, mostly. They are in a sphere of kind of hard to determine how large. And as they slowly begin to look around to get their bearings, they see off to one side what looks like a desk, and a figure sitting on the desk with its arms crossed. And upon sensing Call coming to consciousness, the figure unfolds its arms, and you see a skeletal arm coming from robes that is placed onto the desk. And in a voice that more comes from your mind than your ears, you hear, "So they're finally awake." And we're going to cut it there.
Solid.
Same time next week.
Same time next week.
Alrighty. I'm going to go ahead and end the
Hey,
stream.
let me check the calendar, make sure we don't have anything.
Okay. I am going to end the stream, though. We can...
Yeah. Bye, everyone.